Hey guys, OJ Albina here, bringing you guys my APA Season 6 Week 2 team builder against AA Ron 2420 and his Calgary Infernapes. Now, Aaron recently took over for our buddy Jacob, who unfortunately had to drop due to just, real life coming up, so I definitely wish the best to him. Hope all works out, but we're going to be playing Aaron this week on very short notice, I might add, so shout out to him for, getting the game in and being able to get this in before next week so that we're not, kind of in a perpetual state of getting games done late right before a deadline and stuff like that. So shout outs to him. Definitely go check him out if you haven't done so already. He's helped me out a bunch setting up land timer. I was just in call with him for super long this morning, genning wise, getting some stuff fixed on my side. So huge shout outs to him. I don't think the Wi-Fi community would be able to function without him this gen, that's for sure. But yeah, that being said, we're still going to try and win this game. I do want to jump into matchup and all that so you can see what we have, what he could potentially bring, all the good stuff, my thought process. I do have EVs this time too to be up on the screen, so I don't have to just yell out my convoluted EV spreads and stuff like that. But our team, if you did forget, consists of Keldeo, Sylveon, Necrozma, Darmanitan, Delmise, Rhyperior, Boltund, Golisopod, Kling, Skuntank, and Gigantamax Duraludon. While Aaron's team, you can see right below you, right down there, is going to consist of the Cinderace, Hydreigon, Keldeo, Mamoswine, Bronzong, Slurpuff, Golisopod, Drifblim, Greedent, Roselia, and Gigantamax Pikachu, which is funny, but also not funny because it kind of does me dirty. So we're gonna have to be careful around that thing, obviously. Pretty nervous about that thing, actually. It does really well versus me, despite it being a Pikachu that can't hold an item, because I didn't really build too much around taking it on. I didn't bring Rhyperior, which, to be fair, doesn't really appreciate Grass Knot or Surf or anything like that, especially Grass Knot being that he can just set the train and potentially even live the earthquake from us, which is so sad. But other than that, I think we could take on his team pretty well. It's very top heavy, incredibly top heavy. Cinderace, very meh tier 1, but a very good Pokemon nonetheless. Hydreigon and Keldeo, both really good. We have a great check to them in Sylveon, but it puts so much pressure on Sylveon, it's insane. So we're going to have to hopefully be able to check them other ways so that we can kind of keep stuff in the back for other Pokemon. But yeah, with that being said, let's jump into our first mon, which, as you can see on our screen, is going to be our Keldeo. Boom, we are rocking out with, let me pull up my Team Builder on Showdown so it's a little bit easier for me to say it. We are rocking out with the leftovers, Justified Ability, Calm Mind, Scald, Secret Sword, and Air Slash, 116 HP, 140 special attack, and 252 speed with a timid nature. As you can see, you can kind of have the EVs a little jankly put right underneath the what do you call it, the name and stuff like that of the mon. But what do these EVs do and all that good stuff? So Keldeo is really good in this game. He does not appreciate switching into the dual stabs. I don't think he has a Pokemon that resists dual stabs minus Roselia, which you do have Air Slash for. Air Slash also helps with the Keldeo and 1v1s that way. Which is obviously really nice. We can grab a cheeky flinch on something, potentially like a Crustle or something like that. So that's obviously really nice. EVs wise, we're rocking out with max speed just to tie that Keldeo. If that's what he ends up running, I figured that's a pretty nice benchmark to hit, just because Keldeo is really good versus us. And if we're calm-minded up, if we can outspeed it and knock it out before he can get any chip on us, that's best case scenario. That's really nice for us. So that's obviously really cool. We have enough HP to not get 3-hit KO'd by Specs Dark Pulse from Hydreigon, After Rocks, and our leftovers. So we shouldn't be 3-hit KO'd by Hydra locking into Dark Pulse. I don't know if Specs necessarily comes versus me, but this just makes me an even better check, honestly. We can chew, non-Specs Dracos pretty easily as well. We'll be able to outspeed Nasty Plot variants. Physical sets don't really touch us very well because they'll have to lock into Outrage, which means that Sylveon will be able to come in Revenge. So I figure this plus Sylveon is going to kind of give us a pretty good way of being able to check the Hydreigon. Oh my gosh, I'm not even showing the moves. I should do that. Cool. So that'll be a lot better looking. So yeah, that's going to be Keldeo this week. It's a pretty good mid-grade breaker. It's just a nice bulky pivot into some things. Just throw up some Scalds and Secret Swords, hopefully burn and burn some stuff and stuff like that. So yeah, that's going to be Keld. Next up, we have our aforementioned Sylveon rocking out with Hyper Voice, Wish, Protect, and Mystical Fire. Leftovers? Are we leftovers or Babiri? Yeah, we're leftovers with the Pixelate ability, 228 HP, 36 defense, 4 special attack, 188 speed def, and 52 speed with a calm nature. Now, this is a very speed Sylveon, which you don't normally see just because it already is rocking out with 95 HP, 130 speed def in the, base stats category. But honestly, it's really needed because if you look at my team and you look at Specs Keldeo, it kind of bodies me. So what these EVs allow us to do is they actually allow us, oopsie, look the wrong thing. They actually allow us to not get 2-hit KO by Specs, Keldeo, Hydro Pump after leftovers. The strongest possible move this thing can go versus me. We're not 2-hit KO by it. If it's modest, which I don't expect it to be modest, if it's modest, after lefties and then a protect turn, we'll be able to live from there. So that's obviously really nice. This is going to pretty much be our main check to the Keldeo. It also deals with sub call mindset because our hyper voice does go through the sub, which is obviously really nice. Speed wise, we outspeed 4-speed Rose Raid. Just in case we want to be able to speed that thing, maybe go for some mystical fires, because if we can lower that thing's special attack, we can actually pretty easily beat it 1v1 minus a toxic variant or something like that. And then we threw the rest in defense just to try and take those physical hits a little bit better, like potentially from a physical Hydra, potentially from a physical, like from, I guess we could eat a hit from Mamoswine. So just for that kind of thing, I didn't really think we needed to throw a bunch into special attack because we kind of hit the things we needed to hit already, without going too much invested. I mean, I guess we could like try and 2-hit KO Bronzong if it's not Spadef or something like that, but we'd have to go a lot of special attack and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, I'm totally messing this up. There are the EVs, they're right there. So cool. That's going to be our Sylveon. Let's get this right this time. Next up, we have our Golisopod, rocking out with First Impression, Aqua Jet, Liquidation, and Spikes. Heavy Duty Boots as the item, Emergency Exit as the ability. We are rocking out with EVs wise, max HP, 44 attack, 140 defense, 4 Spadef, and 68 speed with an adamant nature. Now, if you look at my team, Mamoswine demolishes me. Mamoswine goes insane versus me. This is going to be my main check to it. Honestly, I think Mamoswine is the biggest threat to our team. So it kind of sucks that we have to rely on a Golisopod, especially being that it doesn't have any reliable recovery, especially with our boots. We're not even get the residual from lefties. However, we do have Wish Pass with Sylveon, so that's something we can potentially take advantage of, getting this thing back up to full pretty much with our big Wishes passed into it. Obviously, really, really nice for us. EVs-wise, I believe we have enough defense to... no, we have enough attack to Oko Mamoswine after rocks with the Liquidation. We have enough speed for a no-speed Crustle, and then a little bit more after that, just so we can potentially, like, you know, Liquidation that thing if its sturdy's broken, prevent some hazards from going up, or Liquidation to Aqua Jet, just to guarantee pick it off. Then we have the rest in defense, so we can check that Mamoswine just all that better. We're not 2-hit KO by Rock Slide, etc., etc. I mean, I think we're 2-hit KO by Bandit Rock Slide. But I think Adamant Life Orb, we should avoid the 2-hit KO, unless I'm crazy. But even then, something that's cool about the Emergency Exit is it gives us a slow pivot out into something that can, you know, threaten the Mamoswine afterwards, which is obviously really nice for us. So yeah, that's going to be Golisopod. Very, very important in stopping that Mamo. Hits his team very hard, honestly, otherwise, too. Like, besides maybe Roselia and Keldeo, we hit his team very hard, and spikes are obviously nice to just kind of get up and stack versus team, maybe chip some things as they want to come in, such as the Keldeo. We can get a free spike on the switch into that. Same thing with the Roselia and stuff like that. The dual priority is also really nice because something I haven't mentioned yet is I'm terrified of Belly Drum Slurp Off. I don't have good checks to it. I just don't deal with it very well, but this kind of gives me an insurance plan if that thing comes in. If we hit it with a hit and it belly jumps up, it'll likely be in range of an Aqua Jet, as long as we can get some hazard damage off. And it's not like, you know, a super passive hit that it's taking. So that's obviously really good for us. And yeah, that's going to be Big Golisopod this week. Next up, we have our Necrozma. We are rocking out with Dragon Dance, Photon Geyser, Brick Break, Shadow Claw, Lumberry as the item. 20 HP, 148 attack, 4 defense, 156 Spadef, and oh my gosh, I can't see because it's so small. 180 speed with an adamant nature. Now this is kind of just going to serve as our main win con. I think Necro does crazy good here. I originally had a what do you call it? I had an autonomized weakness policy 3-attack special Necro originally with I believe it was Heat Wave plus Dragon Pulse for the Hydreigon, but I figured after some talking with Jason, Dietite, and John that Dragon Dance would be a little bit better this week, just because I really like the idea of boosting up my speed while boosting up the attack, because I can't really reliably have that weakness policy procced against this team. And the physical coverage is still very good here. Like, we have Shadow Claw for the Bronzong, which could be the main thing. We have Brick Break for the Hydreigon, and then Photon Geyser just nukes everything else at +1. +1, this thing does crazy good, especially if we can get rocks at maybe a spike or two. We go pretty nuts with Necro once we chip down Zong and put Hydra in a range of +1 Brick Break. So that's obviously really, really good. Our Spadef lets us not be O-code by Specs, Keldeo, Hydro Pump after Stealth Rock. So that'll be, so we can essentially guaranteed setup on Keldeo. minus a Scald Burn, but we do have Lumberry, obviously, to circumvent that. We also have the Lumberry for, like, a Thunderwave Bronzong or something like that, trying to slow us down and be annoying like that, because we can definitely 2-hit KO that thing with a +1 Shadow Claw pretty easily. We have enough speed for Mons creeping Keldeo and a little bit more after that at our +1, so that's going to be kind of the main benchmark we're hitting, just because the speed tiers kind of line up a little bit funky this week. And then we threw the rest into HP, which is like, 20 or something like that. So that's obviously really nice for us. And yeah, that's going to be Necro this week. Does really well. I think that might be the notes for the original set that I had. I think we might be able to kill Bronzong guaranteed with our attack investment, and then through the rest into HP. But we're not O-code by Specs Dark Pulse after Rocks, I think, as well. So that's obviously really good for us. Then, next up, we have our Gigantamax Duraludon making his debut. We are rocking out with the Flash Cannon, Dark Pulse, Draco Meteor, Stealth Rock, 108 HP, 4 defense, 164 special attack, 12 speed F, and 220 speed with a timid nature. Obviously holding the Beast Ball as the item because that's the coolest looking Pokeball, but we can't hold a real item just due to the Gigantamax claws that we kind of have going in the APA here. This Pokemon, despite not being able to hold an item, goes nuts this game. It's our rocker, so getting up rock is obviously big. In our Dynamax form, we just nuke the entirety of our opponent's team. We 2-hit KO or OHKO everything. Draco hits the Keldeo mainly, and then Dark Pulse, and it hits also Hydreigon. Then like Dark Pulse plus Flash Cannon just nukes everything. Dark Pulse obviously gets the Bronzong, Flash Cannon for the Slurpuff, Crustle, Dark Pulse for the Drifblim, Max Dragon for the Greedent, Max Dragon for the Roselia. So this thing does really well this week, honestly. Really excited to be able to bust this thing out. EVs wise, we have enough HP to live a Bandit EQ after rocks from Mamoswine in our Dynamax form. So we guarantee live that hit. We live a Life Orb Draco after rocks as well with the HP plus def that we have for that Hydra. We can live the Life Orb Draco, which is obviously really good. I think Life Orb is a little bit more likely than Specs if it does bring a boosting item, just because I think being locked into a move versus me isn't the best idea when I do have like Kelp with Sylveon. And stuff like that, but you never know. You can see, we'll see. We have Speed 4 Mamoswine, which we are running max Speed 4 because Necro is only a point below, so you can definitely just go max Speed Mamoswine. So I don't want to get too cute with the creeps there. And then we have the rest of the special attack just to hit as hard as humanly possible. So yeah, that's going to be Duraludon. And then lastly, we have our Boltund rocking out with the Thunderfang, Play Rough, Fire Fang, and Volt Switch, Strong Jaw ability, Choice Scarf as the item, 60 HP, max attack, and 196 speed with a Jolly nature. Now, I mentioned before, I am very weak to Slurpuff. I am terrified of Slurpuff, in fact. So this is going to be my backup plan to this thing, honestly. With our speed and our Choice Scarf, we outspeed a +2 Jolly Slurpuff, guaranteed, 100% of the time as long as webs aren't up, but if he's Belly Drum, I don't think he'll be webs, so that's obviously really nice. This just gives us good speed control in general. We have Play Rough for the Hydra, Thunderfang for General Stab, Fire Fang hits stuff like the Bronzong. It hits Mamo for a decent amount, despite it obviously being able to run the Thick Fat and stuff like that. But Thunderfang actually hits my opponent's team very hard, if you look at it. Minus Hydra, Mamo, and Pikachu, Roselia. But Roselia we hit with Fire Fang as well. Volt Switch for momentum, which is nice. This also gives us a way to guarantee revenge kill the Keldeo, because I don't think he's going to be sub. I think sub is a pretty bad bring versus me, being that I do have a Sylveon. So that's obviously really nice for us. And yeah, that's going to be the team this week. I think we have a pretty good squad. I think we can take on Aaron pretty well with it. And hopefully we can pull out another win just like last week. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe just so you can catch our game as it goes up tomorrow. And be sure to like if you enjoyed the video and all that good stuff. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Later.